Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here, and welcome to a brand new Let's Platinum series for a game that is very near and dear to my heart, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. However, this time around, because this is a game that I've covered on my channel before, this time around though, we are playing the original version on the PlayStation 3. So this is not remastered, and we'll kind of get a chance to see the outdated graphics, the pure original beauty that is this game that ended up leading into, in my opinion, or at least my favorite gaming franchise of all time. So here we are at the start, and as usual, like I said, this is a Let's Platinum. So the goal here, once again, I'm starting from scratch, and our goal is to get the Platinum Trophy. So you're going to notice that right off the bat, usually what I do for a first playthrough is I play on easy or normal. This time I'm jumping straight into hard, and that is because to get the Platinum, you need to beat the game on crushing difficulty, and the only way you can get crushing difficulty is to play the game on hard. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Why is it not letting me... Oh, whoops, I'm still in the options menu. Alright, so let's go to new game, start on hard. Stupid way to start the series, but hopefully it gave you a good chuckle. And here we go, guys. So for this initial playthrough, I'm going to be playing the game on hard difficulty, getting all of the collectibles in the game. There's only 61. Again, this is the first game in the series. As the series progressed, they got way more in depth with the collectibles, but luckily for us, this game only has 61. Along the way, maybe I'll pick up some miscellaneous trophies, but as I usually do for this initial playthrough, we're going to treat it more like a Let's Play. So we're going to enjoy the story, enjoy the cutscenes, take our time with it. There must be a beginning of any great matter, but the continuing unto the end until it be thoroughly finished yields the true glory. Sir Francis Drake, 1587. And this is it, guys. This is the start of the game. I've said this before, you've heard me say it, but this game is probably my favorite game of all time.
Here off the coast of Panama, where we just
otherwise it might be tied with Resident Evil 4, but
Sir Francis Drake,
I'm excited.
Who was buried at sea over 400 years ago.
And there he is, the hero of it all.
Are you sure you want to be defiling your ancestors' remains like that?
You make it sound so dirty.
Wow.
Besides,
it's amazing to be
thought you didn't believe me.
Playing this on PS3.
Well, I did do my research, and apparently Francis Drake didn't have any children.
Well, history can't be wrong, you know.
You really don't...
For example, you can't defile an empty coffin.
You really don't see how far graphics have come until you go back and play a remastered game on its original platform. It's quite remarkable, actually. I mean, just looking at his hand right now, it's just... Video games are just continuously evolving. It's amazing.
What is it? Come on, hold it up.
No way.
Deal was for a coffin. That's it.
Wait a minute. If my show hadn't have funded this expedition, you wouldn't have...
You got your story, lady.
Look, Mr. Drake, you signed a contract. I have a right to see every single thing that...
Could you hold that thought?
God, I'm so excited. This is a game, guys, that I can play.
We got some trouble. Hurry it up.
I have played this game.
What's going on?
I mean, it has to be around 10 or 20 times from start to finish, and I just never get tired of it.
The modern kind.
We all have games like that, games that we can just play
Wait, what are
over
you
and
talking
over,
about?
never get sick of. In fact, they're kind of therapeutic for us, and for me,
Shouldn't we
this
call
is
the
one of
authorities
those
or something?
games.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea, but we don't exactly have a permit to be here.
What?
Yeah, so unless you want to end up in a Panamanian jail, we should probably handle this ourselves.
Well, what's worse?
You obviously haven't been in a Panamanian jail. Do you know how to use one of these?
Yeah, it's like a camera. You just
Point and shoot,
point
right?
and shoot, right?
Good girl.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
In the words of Nathan Drake, here we go. So guys, like I said, this is a Let's Platinum series. The goal of this series is I'm starting the game from scratch, and the goal is to walk away with another bright and shiny Platinum Trophy. So what better way to start the game than to pick up on Chapter 1. Clearly I'm a little rusty, but that's okay. You know, we'll get the hang of it. I gotta remember the controls, like how to reload and whatnot. It's different on the PlayStation. or on the PlayStation 3, I should say, versus the PlayStation 4, which is what I've been playing it on for the past couple of years. Anyway, guys, I'm going to start working towards a trophy right here, right off the bat, and that is for doing a brutal combo. So what you do, I haven't actually learned this move yet. You can see at the bottom of the screen, the game is telling me, you know, God, it's not letting me do it. Ah, it's not letting me do it. Okay, so that one kind of messed up. That might mess up my initial trophy. But you're going to learn a move right here called the brutal combo, which is you basically do square, triangle, square. It's a good way to kill enemies in close combat. And there's a trophy. There's a couple trophies actually associated to that particular move. One is for doing it 5 times. Another is for doing it, I think, 20 times. And then there's another one for doing it 5 times in a row. So I was going for the trophy for getting it 5 times in a row, but for some reason that second enemy just didn't want to cooperate with me, and I don't think I'm going to get the chance to do it. Yeah, because see, Drake keeps doing this move, so it's not going to let me do it in this level, which is kind of unfortunate, because Drake keeps doing this annoying move where he does that, where he shoves the enemy against the like the railing or the barrier, and then it won't let me do the move. So that's kind of a shame. But as you see right there, so there's a medal for something. I don't know. I thought I should have gotten a trophy, but I didn't. That's okay, you know. So that's okay. Oh, there we go. Never mind. So I earned a trophy, Brutal Brawler. I think that's again for just doing it 5 times. Now, funny enough, guys, I actually, when I first sat down to record this series, there was just a number of technical problems. Probably the most prevalent being when this game originally came out, it didn't have trophies. This was back before PlayStation adopted trophies. Remember, they kind of stole the idea from Xbox with Xbox's achievement system. So I'll get back to that point after the cutscene here, because again, part of this initial playthrough is enjoying the story. And this is going to be a longer cutscene, so. You know, later on, when I do my second playthrough of the game on Crushing, I'll skip the cutscenes, but during my first playthroughs, I like to follow along with the story. I like to give you guys a chance to see the story for yourselves so that you can,
the years of therapy won't fix.
you know, see how you like the game in all regards, not just
beautiful and talented
me playing it.
Fisher.
Flattery will get you screen time.
Yeah, I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. Victor Sullivan.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
So I know a lot of the dialogue to this game. Again, that just comes with having played it so many damn times.
Before we attract any more attention.
So in this first video, we should be able to get through the first 2
Well.
chapters.
Little present from Sir Francis.
Oh, so you found the coffin. Wait a minute, is this what I think it is?
Drake's lost diary. He faked his death, just like I said, Sully. He must have been onto something big.
Yeah, well, let's just keep that between us.
Thanks for the loan, Mr. Drake. I think I've earned a look at that diary when we land.
And then he does his famous look. So much for keeping it between themselves. Yeah, like I said, you know, this cutscene, Chapter 2 actually has a lot of cutscenes, so that is something we'll have to deal with.
He captured their ships, he took all their maps, their letters, their journals, and he recorded everything in this diary.
So this...
But when he got back to England, Queen Elizabeth confiscated all of his charts and logbooks, including this one, and then swore his entire crew to silence.
Yeah, so this...
You see, Drake discovered something on that voyage, Sully. Something so secret and so valuable, they couldn't risk it getting out.
All right, Nate, just pretend for a minute that I don't really care about any of that stuff and cut to the chase, would you?
Man only interested in the climax.
You must be a real hit with the ladies.
Never had any complaints.
Okay, then. I'll
Good
jump
old
to the
Sully.
good part, just for you.
Ho, ho, ho.
Huh?
El goddamn Dorado.
He was onto something big, all right.
Does it say anything else?
Oh, so now you're interested, huh?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, no. Last page was torn out. I'm telling you, Sully. This is it. This is finally it.
Yeah. Only we got one little problem.
Yes, that's what I said. It blew up. It sank. No, that's why we have insurance, right? Oh. Oh no, the camera? No, the camera's fine. Don't worry about the camera. No. Still as good as new.
Sully, the girl can hold her own. You should have seen her.
Fine. You go on out there and you tell her, we just found the lost city of gold. Maybe her producer can get it on the air tonight.
Oh, come on.
Nate, do you trust me?
More or less.
Good. Because we're gonna have every two-bit scumbag in the world racing us to this treasure unless we cut her loose right now.
You're a real gentleman, Sully.
I know. It stinks. She'll get over it.
No, I don't care for over budget. I mean, do you realize that this could be like the biggest story of the year? Hi. No, I don't trust him, okay? That's why we need to move fast. So just get me the camera crew, and I promise you that...
we're off. Sorry, Elena.
Bitch.
Alright, so that's pretty much it for the cutscene. Anyway, guys, the point, interesting point, maybe not all of you knew this, maybe you did, but when the PlayStation 3 came out, it didn't originally have trophies. There are still a handful of games that you can buy, very, very early release titles, that there's no trophies. That wasn't a thing. Xbox was actually, as much as I have come to like PlayStation more than Xbox, Xbox were actually the pioneers for that. So Xbox, when the Xbox 360 came out, they made what are called achievements, which again are the same exact things as trophies. However, there's no equivalent to the Platinum Trophy, which is another reason I've come to prefer Sony. But yeah, so when this game came out, there was no trophies. Now later on, they made a patch for the game, and they did give it trophies. So obviously they did that, otherwise I wouldn't be doing a Let's Platinum series now would I? And it just so happens that one of the trophies, or a few of the trophies, involve these treasures here. So you could see the first treasure of the game. I'm gonna pick it up, and I'll actually get a trophy right now. So you'll see in the top right corner, first treasure, but that's not the trophy. The trophy is right there. So you might be saying, okay, what was that first thing that popped up and it made that cool little noise? What was that? Because that wasn't the trophy, and it wasn't. So when this game came out, sure, it didn't have trophies, but Naughty Dog, the people who made this game, clearly they're good at making video games. They know what they're doing, so they did give some type of in-game challenges, which they called medals. And once again, I'll get back to explaining what exactly these medals are in the after the cutscene.
Well, I don't get it. According to this, we're right on top of the mark.
Maybe you're not reading that thing right. Let me see it.
No, this is the place.
There's nothing here, Nate. A goddamn dead end.
Easy, Sully. Just relax. Let's take a look around.
Okay, so, but anyway, yeah, so Naughty Dog, they did throw in these in-game challenges, which are called medals. And as you saw right there, there was a medal for getting your first treasure. And then as it just so happens, there's also a trophy for getting your first treasure. So basically what they did was they released the game with no trophies. They saw how, and then once PlayStation adopted trophies, they saw how popular trophy hunting had become, and Naughty Dog went and patched the game, and they basically just took all the medals and they turned them equivalently into trophies. So every single time you see me get a trophy in this game, it will be preceded by the unlocking of one of those in-game medals. And so you'll hear that nice little in-game chime, you'll see the medal unlock, and then shortly afterwards the trophy will unlock as well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump this gap here. This is where the second treasure of the game is. Once again, I have I have a second screen to my left where I'll be looking from time to time to make sure I'm, getting all of the treasures. If I happen to miss one, that's not the end of the world. I can always pick it up in my second playthrough. But yeah, guys, Uncharted, you're gonna watch me. You're gonna see me go through this game, and you're gonna say, "Wow, he must have played this game a lot because he knows exactly where to go at all times. What's going on. And the truth of the matter is, like I said, this is a game that I have played so many times. This is just a game for me that I truly love with all of my heart. You know, if I were to know that any given day, if I were to know that it was my last day on Earth, I've kind of thought about what would I do? You know, if I knew that there was a day that was my last day on Earth, what would I do? And let's just say that plan, it involves a big bag of Haribo gummy bears, a Red Bull, and Uncharted. Now, of course, it involves other things as well, but those are arguably 3 of the biggest things on that list. So that should give you some perspective at how important
What a warm
this game
and
is
homey
to me.
place. Huh?
Well, not quite what you were expecting, huh?
Yeah. Where's all the damn gold?
Yeah, this place was picked clean centuries ago.
No good limey pirate.
No, it wasn't Drake. Check this out. Looks like the Spanish got here before he did. What the hell, Sully?
Nate, I'm not looking for a lousy piece of tin. I'm up to my eyeballs in debt. I was really counting on this one.
Too many big bar tabs in Lima, I guess.
That and, well, just a few bad deals.
Yeah, well, I always told you to stay away from the bad guys. And the bad girls.
Yeah? Look who's talking.
What's that supposed to mean?
That reporter? I saw the way you were eyeing her.
Elena? Please. I snuffed any chance with her the second we ditched her on that dock.
All's fair in love and war, kid.
And what if you can't tell the difference?
Then, my friend, you are in big trouble.
Alright, wise words from Victor Sullivan. Now we're going to make our way down this path here. I think the third treasure of the game is... here we go. It's in this little... kind of tucked right here, hard to find. Again, a lot of these treasures are a bit tough to find, which is why I have, to my left, a collectibles guide that I'll be referencing throughout this initial playthrough. But yeah, guys, like I said, you know, this game is just so important to me, and it's kind of cool to be playing it on the PS3, because the last time I played it on PS3 was years ago in high school. And I'll share that story with you, because it's important, to me anyway. Whether it's in this video or not, I'm not sure, but as you guys know, they remastered the first 3 Uncharted games for the PlayStation 4 in something that they call the Nathan Drake Collection. In that remaster, they actually introduced a brand new difficulty setting, which was called Brutal Difficulty. And trust me when I tell you, it was hard. It was very challenging. It's something that I have covered on my channel. You can find a Brutal Difficulty walkthrough right there on the homepage of my channel if you look for it.
Oh, this looks familiar.
But luckily for us, playing on PS3, there is no Brutal Difficulty. And in fact, the Platinum, it's actually kind of simple. Now keep in mind, I say it's simple because, once again, I've played this game so many times, I know it in and out. How do I gotta pull out Drake's journal, but it's not giving me the, there we go, wasn't giving me the prompt to do so.
Here it is. Looks like this thing is
So you basically find out that this giant thing is a brazier, and then you ask Sully to light it. This is all scripted. But yeah, guys, so what ended up happening was, when I was in high school, I'll tell you a bit about how I was introduced to this game and why it's so important to me. When I was in high school, I made this friend that, so I was an Xbox kid, you know, I had the original Xbox, I bought the 360, I loved Halo, I loved Gears of War. I had a PlayStation 1 as a kid, but I never owned the PS2. I just, I don't know, my PlayStation days stopped at the PS1. And I ended up turning into an Xbox kid. Well, when I was in high school, I made this friend, I really liked him, and he was a PlayStation kid. You know, he was PlayStation 1, 2, 3, I'm sure he has a 4 now. I don't really hang out with him anymore, but the point is, I made this friend, and he had a PS3, and he was the only person I knew that actually had a PS3. And, you know, him and I became quite chummy, so we started hanging out more. And there was one day after school where we had some homework to work on. We were in the same class. And we had some homework to work on, so I ended up going to his house after school. And we finished our homework. He had a little bit more homework to go, but I was done with mine. So I asked him if I could play his PlayStation, and he said, sure, go right ahead. So I was looking through his games. I hadn't played a PS3 before. I was looking through his games, and, you know, he had some sports games, Madden, 2K, stuff like that. He had a game called Haze. He had just a handful of games that I didn't really have any interest in. But then, okay, I was just making sure I didn't miss a treasure. But then I came across this game that he had called Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I never heard of it, but I saw that it was made by Naughty Dog, and I would trust Naughty Dog with my life. So I said, hey, you know, what's this game? What's this all about? And he goes, oh, I don't know. My parents bought it for me for Christmas. Okay, let me see real quick. So, pendant, praying man, spider, circle. That's how I'm going to remember this. So the first thing is the pendant. I think I jumped to the wrong... Where's the pendant? Oh, it's over there. Okay, so we gotta, as you can imagine, press those things in order. I can reference the journal if I need to. But yeah, so I asked him what Uncharted was, and he goes, oh, I don't really know. My parents bought it for me for Christmas. I played the first couple levels, but didn't really get into it. And he told me it was basically like a treasure hunting game. You know, that's how he said. He said it's a treasure hunting game. It's kind of like a male version of Tomb Raider, or, you know, the game version of Indiana Jones. However you want to think about it, that's kind of how he described it to me. And I said, oh, okay, I don't really play the Tomb Raider games. I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie, believe it or not. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot, because nothing else you have really, you know, tickles my fancy. So why not try this game? It's made by Naughty Dog. They make good games, I know that much. Why not give it a shot? And so give it a shot I did. And I sat down from scratch to play the game. And I ended up playing about more than half of it in one sitting. Again, he was just working on homework. I was sitting there, and I just started playing this game, and it just hooked me. Every single thing about it. Treasure hunting, because I've always had an interest in archaeology, that kind of spoke to me. The characters were well written, were intriguing.
Like
the combat was so fluid, so easy to get a hold of. It just was a good game, and I quickly fell in love with it. So much so that very weekend, the same weekend after hanging out at this friend's house, I went over to my local game store. I bought a used PlayStation 3, and I called up my friend. I said, hey, I just bought a PS3. Can I borrow Uncharted? And he said, shoot, man, you can have it. I don't play it. And the rest is history. I got the game. I downloaded the patch. I found out what trophies were, because, again, I didn't know what trophies... I didn't know PlayStation had trophies, but it was pretty easy to figure out what they were since I had an Xbox and knew what achievements were. So I downloaded the patch, played Uncharted, just through the entire weekend. That's all I did was play Uncharted. And it ended up being my very first platinum trophy. I basically didn't stop until I had the platinum. And yeah, that's kind of the story. That's how it went. And then, unexpected to me, but Uncharted, it ended up growing into the franchise that it is now. So as you guys know, there's Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a spin-off game with a different set of characters that you get introduced to later on in the series, and they made a spin-off game called Lost Legacy. And on my channel, I actually have hardest difficulty walkthroughs for every single game in the franchise. And yeah, Uncharted and Resident Evil are my two most favorite gaming franchises of all time, and my two favorite games of all time are Uncharted and Resident Evil 4. Now, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any trophies. Treasures. There are two more to go. But yeah, this is a franchise that I care very much about. This game in particular, the first one, it's my favorite game in the franchise. Most people say that the second game is the best in the franchise, and you know, if I had to step back and just look at it unbiased, from an unbiased viewpoint, I would agree. Uncharted 2 is the best game. Uh-oh, I might die here. Uncharted 2 is the best game in the franchise, in my opinion. But Uncharted 1 is my favorite game in the franchise. A lot of it because of, you know, sentimental value. The game just is very important to me. It's why I got my PS3. It's what drew me back into Sony's clutches. But it's just, I just love this game. Anytime I get stressed out or overwhelmed with life, I can sit down and play this game, and it brings a genuine smile to my face, and I'll always be, you know, thankful to it
The
for
temple
that.
must have been built around this.
Around what?
A statue. A gold statue.
A huge gold statue. And look here, these people, they're worshipping the damn thing. At least, I think they're people.
Of course. El Dorado, the Golden Man. Sully, it wasn't a city of gold. It was this. It was a golden idol.
Man, can you imagine what that thing would be worth now?
Look over here. Tracks. I bet the Spanish dragged it out on cut logs. We're 400 years late for this party.
So the trail's cold.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Son of a bitch.
Unless
Unless what?
we follow the tracks.
Alright guys, so let's talk a bit about the trophies of this game, how this series is going to work. This series should take, well, it will take 2 full playthroughs of the game. Here's the other treasure. But it might also take a little bit of chapter select to do some cleanup. Right there, that was my 5th treasure, so I think, there we go. Beginner Fortune Hunter, 1 more trophy added to the collection. But anyway, so as far as the trophies go, there's a trophy for beating the game, then there's a trophy for beating the game on crushing. There is a couple of trophies related to collecting all of the treasures. So in this game, those treasures are the collectibles. And then really the rest of the trophies are all just kind of random combat-related trophies. You know, get 10 headshots, get 10 headshots in a row, get a total of 100 headshots. Do this, do that. You know, it's really just a bunch of kind of random trophies that more or less will probably be unlocked during the course of this playthrough, like without even really trying. So for this initial playthrough, I'm really just going to focus on beating the game, getting all of the collectibles, and that's really it. And most of the trophies should come naturally. Any trophies that don't unlock, I can go back after I beat the game, utilize chapter select, and you know, pick up any of those remaining trophies. And then my second playthrough, the final playthrough of the game, will be on crushing difficulty. By that point, I should have all of the other trophies unlocked, and it will just be a matter of beating the game on the hardest difficulty, and then we'll basically be done.
Be damned.
Must have come up the river during flood season and gotten stuck. Let's check it out, huh?
Yeah, wait. Something about this feels kind of hinky.
Hinky. You act like you've never seen a German U-boat in the middle of the jungle before.
I'm being serious, Nate.
I tell you what, why don't you stay here? I'll check it out myself. I'll call you if I run into any Nazis.
Yeah, right. You do that.
Oh, wait. Hold on to this for me, will you? Okay. Looks like I'm gonna have to do this the hard way.
Alright, so we are now at the start of Chapter 3. I thought I was only going to have enough time to get, I just want to make sure I got all 6. Okay. I thought I was only going to have enough time to beat the first 2 levels. I won't be able to beat all of level 3 in this video, if I want to keep it to an appropriate time. But I will be able to get the 2 treasures, and also, you know, get through kind of the story part of it, so that once we pick up in the next video, we'll be able to jump right back into the combat. But, you know, another reason that I love this game, if you guys remember, I actually started a Let's Play for this game a couple of months ago, and as is always, whoops, did not get enough momentum. As is always the case with my Let's Plays, I never finished. I didn't finish that series. But, again, that is the beauty of the Let's Platinum. that shouldn't be an issue here, because the goal is not just to play the game. The goal is to play the game with a purpose, and that purpose being, oh my god, I am rusty. That it's hard to focus and talk at the same time. But again, the purpose here is to not only play the game, but to get the Platinum Trophy. And there's a treasure here. I'm not actually too sure where it is. I don't quite remember. I'm hoping that it kind of will come to me as I'm playing. There's a trophy somewhere, and I gotta make sure I get it. Oh, I think it's up here. So I think before I swing across the vine, I have to crawl. Yeah, okay, here it is. So crawl up here, get it. There you go. And then I think I can actually just drop down over here. And so this chapter, there's only 2 trophies. That was, uh-oh. Alright, so I just died. Drake, for some reason, didn't grab onto the platform below me. So sometimes the climbing mechanics in this game can be a bit flawed. You know, the game's not perfect by any means, but it's pretty well done. You know, again, this is a Naughty Dog game. Naughty Dog clearly knows what they're doing. So for the most part, this game is pretty solid, but every once in a while you might see little bugs like that where Drake just doesn't quite know where you want him to climb, and as a result you can end up paying the ultimate price. What was I talking about? Something about something. So I got the treasure. That should stay there. I shouldn't have to recollect it. Oh, it looks like I had to... Okay. So that was my fault, actually. I just didn't remember the correct climbing path. But anyway, guys, so like I said, I started a Let's Play for this game a couple of months ago, and I never finished. But during that Let's Play, I was talking about, you know, why it is I like this game so much. Like, what is it? And there are a lot of things, but one of the things I really like is the opening to this game. Because I think that the opening to this game, it gives you a really good view at the franchise as a whole, because this is not just a treasure hunting game, it's not just a shooting game, it's not just a climbing parkour game. It really is a solid mixture of all 3, and I think you really see that from just these initial couple of chapters. So what I'm going to do before going towards the objective is I'm going to travel all the way to the end of this U-boat here, and you can see there is one more treasure off in the distance. So let's pick that up, and you know what? While we're picking up that treasure, let's just go ahead and take a moment to appreciate this pre-PlayStation 4 view. Look at that. Look at that. You can't get that at home. You can only get that... Well, okay. I didn't mean to say at home, because clearly I'm at home playing a video game. I don't know what I was trying to say. I'll be honest, I'm getting kind of hungry, getting a little shaky. And I'm getting ready to call this video quits so I can go eat something.
That's funny.
But before I do that, like I said, let's get a little further into Chapter 3. But you know, the point I was making was in Chapter 1, we kind of started off the game with an ambush, a lot of action, big explosions, you know. But then in Chapter 2, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but in Chapter 2 there was not a single enemy. Drake never... I mean, there were no enemies. There was nobody to fight. Chapter 2 was more about parkour, climbing, puzzle solving, treasure hunting. And now, whereas with Chapter 3 here, you're actually going to see a good mixture of both. You're going to see at the beginning here, we're doing a lot of climbing, getting introduced to more of the story, the treasure hunting aspect of the game. But then as you're going to see, after these couple of cutscenes, we actually really get into the combat of the game. And so, yeah, I think the beginning of the game really does a good job at just introducing us to a number of those concepts. Now I'm going to step off camera just for a second while this cutscene plays out to get a bit of food.
Now, where'd you get this?
Or maybe not, because I don't know how long this cutscene is. I think it's almost over. I better wait. Yeah, good thing I waited.
I think the trail just got warm again.
How so?
Well, I just met a guy with pockets full of Spanish
Anyway,
gold.
guys, one thing I do want to say,
The mint mark I've never seen before.
now that we're closer
Like
to
our
the end of the
German
video,
friends had a little secret.
is you may have noticed that I do not have headphones in my ear. Usually I do, because that's how I am able to listen to the game as I play along. but have it so that the game's audio doesn't feed into the microphone and give you guys an unpleasant viewing experience. So you might be wondering, first off, why I don't have headphones in. There's a lot of technical things that go into it, but the main thing is the headphones that I have, I cannot use to record PlayStation 3 footage. Again, I won't go into all the technical aspects, but it just won't work. So if I'm going to keep recording games on the PlayStation 3, I'm going to need to get new headphones. Now, coincidentally, the headphones I usually use, the typical little earbuds that you can get anywhere, they fizzled out on me this morning. One of the earbuds died, and the other one will probably follow suit pretty soon. So it looks like no matter what, I'm gonna have to get new headphones. And this time around,
I'm in the captain's quarters.
I might as well get good headphones.
Get this. He's still here.
What's that supposed to mean?
It looks like he was killed. Ripped to shreds, actually. Oof, what a way to go.
Yeah, sounds terrible. Take his wallet.
You're all hearts, Sully. No way. You've got to be kidding.
Find anything, kid?
UK 2642. UK 2642. Gotcha.
Are you all right?
Sully, you're not gonna believe this.
Try me.
I think I found our missing page.
You kidding?
It looks like Drake and our German pals were after the same treasure. And I've got the map that's gonna lead us right to it.
Nate, this better not be another wild goose chase. We've got to get something out of this trip or...
Or what? Sully? You there? Sullivan?
Alright, guys, so... Alright, you'll have to forgive me for that cut in the video. I had to get off camera to eat something because I feel like my blood sugar is really low right now. And I just had to get something quick to eat. Otherwise, I was gonna pass out before finishing this blasted video. But yeah, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna have one more, that's kind of length, not too bad, but another cutscene here, and then we'll kind of be thrown into the second half of chapter 3. And I actually am gonna step off camera during this cutscene.
Hello.
Hey! Friends of yours, Sully?
I'm Gabriel Roman.
Yeah, I know who you are, asshole.
Manners, young man. This is just business.
Get over there.
Easy.
Put your hands up.
Hi, they're up.
See, your friend owes me money, Mr. Drake. A lot of money. So when he told me that you two were onto something big, the find of a lifetime, he said, well, I was intrigued. But he's made grand promises before, haven't you, Victor? And here we are again. Another fool's errand.
Jeez, does he always go on like this?
Take it easy, Navarro. So, I'm afraid the time is up. Unless, of course, you found something in there, Mr. Drake, that might compensate for all this unpleasantness.
He's screwing with you, Nate. They heard everything. Just give him the map.
Slowly. What does a Kriegsmarine map have to do with El Dorado?
What, you think this is a coincidence? The Germans were after the same treasure. That map has something to do with it. So, we square?
For now. But just in case you need a reminder...
Hey, come on, leave him out of it.
Yeah, don't you guys usually just cut off a finger or something?
That's far too vulgar. I think this will hurt him a bit more.
Now, whoa. Come on, Roman. He's got nothing to do with...
Sully! Sully! You son of a bitch!
Alright. So here we go. Get ready to run. As soon as you gain control of Drake, you're going to be getting shot at. Now, again, this is hard difficulty, which, again, no arrogance here, but just kind of the fact of the matter. It's not very difficult for me, because I've just played this game so many times. Not to say I'm perfect. I still could easily die. But it's a little less likely. So anyway, go ahead and run down the path, take out that guy, keep running, and we're going to be treated to, yet again, you guessed it, one more cutscene. Now, I promise the cutscenes, they're not going to be this frequent later on in the game, but just for the beginning here, they're really kind of, you know, setting everything up. And here's Elena.
At the dock.
What the hell are you doing
Good
here?
old Elena.
Listen, I'm a good enough reporter to follow a couple of no-luck tomb robbers.
It went this way! I'm radio ahead!
Well, you're down to one tomb robber now. Sully's dead.
What?
Yeah. And we're next if we don't get out of here.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Please tell me you have a gun.
Of course.
Oh, thanks. All right, come on.
Alright, guys. So, that was, you know, that was the first half of Chapter 3. Sets up a lot of the story, a lot of cutscenes, a lot of climbing. Now we're going to be thrown into a lot of combat, and this is where the game really starts to pick up. So I think this is a good spot to end this first video. We'll pick up everything again in the next video. But anyway, guys, this is another Let's Platinum series. So the goal here, I started from scratch, and slowly but surely we're going to chip away at those trophies and walk away with a new Platinum. Now, again, I'm playing this on PS3, so this is not the remastered PS4 version of the game. I want to end this video on one little note. I was talking about the headphone situation. Now, this is something that I typically don't talk too much about, but I figure I'll present the information here. This isn't the only game I want to cover on PS3. I also want to do Dead Space, maybe even Dead Space 2. There's a lot of games I want to cover, and as you can imagine, running a YouTube channel isn't cheap, and having my headphones blow out on me, and having to find out that I need a new pair of headphones anyway, it's kind of a bummer, because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pick those up right now. So, I'll end this video with this. If you'd like to help support the channel, whether it's with $1, $10, or even $100, whatever you care to give, or whatever you're able to give, if you'd like to help support the channel, in the description below you can find an email associated with my PayPal account. You can log on PayPal, send me whatever you'd like, and I'll be using those donations to get new games, to get new headphones, anything and everything to help the channel. So like I said, asking for donations is typically something I don't do. I feel uncomfortable doing it, but when the need arises, I do at least feel I should share the information with you just so you know it's there. So if you're in a spot where you'd like to donate to the channel, if you're able to donate, again, feel free to do so via PayPal, whatever you'd care to give. It's, you know, I appreciate the gesture either way. But like I said, if you don't want to donate, or if you're just not in a position where you can donate right now, that's completely acceptable. I don't hold it against you. I won't, my feelings won't be hurt. So anyway, that's how I want to end this video, guys. This is Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I am very much looking forward to doing this Platinum. And if you guys enjoy it, who knows what else, what other types of games we can do in the future, because this isn't a survival horror. This is something else, and typically you guys prefer to watch survival horror stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how you guys take to this game. I'm excited. I hope you are too. As always, let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.